I think people like that because you're unfiltered and raw.
So I'm here with Austin Otis. He's on the Borough Assembly, and today we're just going to preview the upcoming Borough Assembly meeting tomorrow night. So, Austin, you just started your term on the Assembly. It's a 2-year term?
It is, yeah.
And how you liking it so far?
Good. I've been there for about 6 months. You know, before I got on, I was curious of how much a workload it would have been on my own life.
Right.
Once I got into it, you know, you kind of find a flow, trying to figure out. I think the hardest part for me was the procedural aspect, being on the Assembly, like when to talk, when to move things forward.
Like a Robert's Rules kind of stuff?
Yeah. So that's a learning curve that I had to really do. But luckily you have a lot of people around you that help you out, kind of give you pointers. The clerk does a lot.
Yeah, the clerk's pretty impressive, isn't she?
She is, she's awesome. But so I think that was the greatest learning curve. I already I'm like a political person, so I kind of like knew what big issues are going on. So when the agendas came around, I kind of knew what was going to be talked about. And so before I ran, I also went to like about 6 months worth of meetings, so just to get a feel what was going on. So
sure, good. So are you finding something that's, you know, tedious, something boring, some parts you just kind of...
I'm not much of a financial guy, so I find the finances a little dull when I go over them.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's probably my weakest point. I'm not a math person, or and finances aren't my thing. But I like big concept things, big social things like housing and stuff like that.
So talk about the major agenda items tomorrow that you want to deal with.
So the two big ones are going to be a housing commission, or some kind of housing entity, and restructuring of the food truck laws. So the housing commission, or a housing entity, we have like 5 or 6 different options. Off the top of my head, I only know 3 or 4 of them. But the planning department wants to do more of like a staff-led discussion with community input, rather than having like a formal commission that is long-term. To me, I prefer an authority, a housing authority, or a housing commission. To me, a staff-led discussion seems like there's an end date. It seems like it's temporary. So to me, a more formal process with a housing commission that has goals and has an agenda to reach those goals within 5 or 10 years. To me, I like that idea.
Okay. And then the other agenda item was the food truck.
Yeah.
And where's that stand?
Yeah, so there's a lot of misconceptions about it. There's a lot of different talk out there about what's going on with food trucks. So right now, food trucks, you can only have them on private property within 2 hours. So what this law would do is extend. After 2 hours, you can get a cup or a conditional use permit to run your food truck 24 hours a day. But it still has to be on private property. So that's the caveat: is we're not being open to public property. We're still being on private property. But it allows at least a process for someone to get a application to have a food truck. Before there was not a process. In every law, there's good intentions, right? And sometimes there's bad intentions that come out of it. So I've traced the food truck laws about the 80s when they banned food trucks, but they did it under like a mobile home restriction. They didn't want people coming downtown and parking like mobile homes on the side of the streets.
Camping out, essentially.
Exactly. And that was like in the 80s, and there was a big logging boom here, and so there's a lot of, people that were just kind of nomads traveling around, and they didn't want a lot of junk downtown, which is, a rightful way to the law. But it was an unintended consequence.
Take a break. So just to close, do you have anything else you want to add or let people know before we sign
I
off?
know this coronavirus stuff is really important to the community, and what are the cruise ships going to bring here? And it's a big question that we all have. But the borough, I know, has met twice with the local emergency planning board, and we're continuing to develop that. We've had people like Rodney Dial, the assistant manager on there, Deanna Thomas, and Kyan on the transportation department. So
don't give Kyan any credit because it's now Leslie. Anyway, thanks a lot for talking today.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching Ketchikan, Alaska News. This is a little hobby effort of mine to try and bring one daily story to people here in Ketchikan or past members of the community, people who love and like Ketchikan. I try to do just political stories or stories of interest, sports and so forth. If you have any ideas or suggestions, you can email me at ketchikanalaskannews@gmail.com. You can also contribute. It takes a little bit of money running around doing this kind of thing. So there's a donate button on the opening page of the YouTube channel. It helps if you subscribe, like, comment, share all these videos that are free to do that, so please do that. Any other comments or suggestions, just give me an email or give me a call. Thanks again for watching Ketchikan, Alaska News. Don't you love that snow?